part of the people who are fetching for the jobs. But entrepreneurship is the area which is never been touched in the conventional education system, barring some degree courses like MBA and etc. But more or less, entrepreneurship was never been promoted. The reason, it was observed that the education is a knowledge base, delivery should be there, they should give the certificates that the person knows something. But it is now onus on the institutions to provide some kind of inputs to the students, which make them motivate to start their own enterprises, because this give them the some kind of self independence and directly contribute to the Indian economy. Next is the industry academia collaboration, where I just want to give you a very simple example for this, that why parents who are, I would say, parents who are aspirant to send their children to IITs, why not to the local college where the same degree they can get? Because it is not about the degree. IIT's delivery system is different. They have a strong academia industry collaborations, which the local engineering institutions don't have. Why? Because industry gave them the problems, they try to solve these problems, they participate, they make student to participate in these kind of projects. And thereafter, with the strong industrial collaborations, their students in IITs or in NITs, they are more skill oriented than the student or a common engineers studying from a local engineering college. So it means that we should have a strong industrial collaborations. In this case, there are many models are being studied in the literature. One is triple helix model, where it was if I ask you to if I tell you how to interpret the triple helix model, it says that industry, academia, and the government must create an ecosystem where the all three stakeholders should participate in such a manner that they generate an educational ecosystem which promote industry oriented problem, which try to solve industry oriented problem, or they look at the futuristic industry problem. Now, how academia will go and see the future? It is the industry, they will tell them that this is how the customer is eyeing on the future, this is the future product people are asking for. So without a strong industry academia collaborations, it is next to impossible that you can make your student more skill oriented. Next is the technology orientations. Mind you, it is my personal experience that a student of economics is battling with the Excel sheet. They don't know that it is very simple. In a second, they can find out the correlation for which they are solving the sum from last 15 to 20 minutes. But we are not teaching them the way it should be taught to them. I personally studied from a states to university, where we were taught about the economics and we were taught about every formulas that we know. But when it comes to practically apply the regressions on the real time data, we find it very challenging. And then we learn those things which were never been taught to us in the classes. The reason was that had there been a course of Excel, MS Excel, where they don't teach us the Excel, rather they should teach us the how to apply the economic formula via Excel, then we could have become more skill based, and maybe industry would appreciate our skills and the knowledge of economics and could have absorbed us in a corporate. But in the whole game, in the whole idea, what is important that if I am upgrading my curricula in order to facilitate my future students to contribute to the nation's economy, then parallelly I should also enrich my teachers to do that. like the program that you are you are undertaking, the capacity building program. Such kind of competency based program should be more be delivered, and the teacher, more and more the teacher should be exposed to these kind of training. So institution will have to bear this extra cost to upgrade the teacher's knowledge as well. If I am talking about training the student via Excel mode, then my teacher should also be trained accordingly. They should be given sufficient facilities and the fundings to learn the new skills, which later they can successfully handle if we will include them in the curriculum. Okay. Then recognitions of the prior learning. Prior learning is a very important part of the national education policy. The reason being that the skill which I don't learn in the education institution, but I learn outside the education institutions. Suppose I learned Python via some MOOC courses from other universities, then that should also be appreciated in my degree. Because what is happening nowadays, many of our students are doing courses on data analytics where they are applying Python predominantly, but some of the students are also venturing into new softwares too. But unfortunate part is that that kind of upgradations or recalibration in the curriculum has not been done so far. So under that circumstances, how we are dealing with this kind of situation is a different ball game. So what we are doing, we are facilitating our students to go for some MOOC course, provided they should be proctored in nature, and learn that skill, which for the time being we are unable to teach them. We must also be open to that also. And if we believe that that course is useful for the student as far as their future employability or the learning is concerned, then we are giving them some kind of academic benefit, or we go to that extent that we replace the courses also. So recognition of the prior learning and parallel learning should be appreciated. So what are the government initiative in this? Government is doing improving the skill educations. There are many schemes which are being floated. Pradhan Mantri Kushal Vikas Yojana, Skill India missions. So my teacher should also be aware with these kind of schemes too, where they should motivate the student to participate in that, because that give them the hands-on exposure. So if I am saying so, then I am fortifying the mentor student model also, mentor mentee model. Okay, the mentor mentee model is very important. So at the ground level, how will you execute the things? I am parallelly telling you that this is what we are doing. Being a private university, we do have some kind of liberty. I know some questions might come that we are being recognized by some universities and they are not changing the curricula, but we can go beyond that, because in NEP we do have a provisions by a virtue of MOOC courses or other proctored courses. Swayam and NAPTAL portals are there, where we can give some kind of new exposure to our students to make them industry 4.0 ready. Okay. Then in the last part of the slide, I also discussed that how we are doing this, how we are including as a part of assignment where there are certain challenges. We are inculcating the same, like government has started a national assessment center. Yes. And flexibility of the curriculum that we have already talked about. Now, what are the challenges? Although in my discussion, I talk about the some challenges are there. First of all, the deficient curricula, which I have already highlighted. As long as the curricula, we will deliver the same curricula, the whole purpose of skill-based education will get defeated. So we need to amend those. Although some universities has slowly and steadily they are doing it, and some accreditation agencies are also, councils are also coming up with their own model curriculum like curricula Council of Architecture, Pharmaceutical Council of India, Bar Council of India, they have already arrived at a new set of curricula in that are very much aligned with the new education policy. Second point is engagement with the industry stakeholder, be at a college level or a university level or an engineering institution level. We must have a strong industry tie-ups. We must have a tie-up by virtue of a workshop, or maybe by the guidance, maybe by the apprenticeship or internships, where you can send the students for getting a first-hand information about that. And in the liberal arts, we do also have some kind of collaborations with the NGOs also, where they can student can go into the field and learn the leadership skills. And for all that reason, infrastructure again is a major challenge. If we are upgrading our curricula, if we are upgrading our teachers' capacity, so we need to go hand in hand with the technological upgradations also. We must make our teacher tech friendly. We must have to make our institutions tech friendly. So infrastructure development is also parallelly asking for this. Teacher training, I have already talked about. Equitable assess, that would be the major challenge in the future for India, because NEP, the vision with which the NEP was started as far as the skill based education is concerned, now the $100 million questions arise, that how we will achieve when India is divided into many kind of income based segments. Rural area and urban area have a different education delivery system, and there is a lot of disparity there. How these disparities catch up with all the development that are taking place. So the universities must have to think about that also, or the institutions must have to think about that. And then every institutions must have their own quality assurance. IQAC team, definitely they will find they will be more responsible now. IQAC. And then without IQAC, you won't have a foolproof idea that how you are implementing that, because in the NEP, a lot of things are expected to be showcased as an impact on the paper too. And how we our teachers are matching up with this, are they get aligned with all the developments. So we must have to think about that also. Industry collaborations already tapped. Now, what are the strategies by virtue of which we can fight out this odd? I know there are some challenges which are difficult to mitigate in the very near future, but if we start thinking about them, we start calibrating our skill, recalibrating our skills on them, then it is for sure that in the future we will attain them successfully. Though there are some strategies. These strategy I have included in my presentation that we are actually practicing in our institution. First of all, we are enhancing our curriculum development, like we are offering pathways, we are offering electives, we are offering community development programs to assignment base, and in the course also the continuous base assessments are being designed, mostly, not in all courses, are being designed in such a way that they are leading to some kind of skill development among the students. Secondly, promote industry promotions, participation. On job training, that should be promoted. If I have some collaboration with the industry and industry is asking for giving us some students, we accommodate their educations also. We take their exam maybe at the different designated date, where we and industry collaborators are agreed upon, where students are actually working on some tangible product. Okay. Then capacity building and teacher training, we are upgrading our knowledge. Even myself learned SPSS um, a year ago, and I'm upgrading my knowledge. It is not only contributing to my CV, but the course of SPSS in the form of data analytics has already been included in the curricula of BSc Economics, BCom, MCom, and MSc Economics. Quality assurance mechanism, although quality assurance is there, school wise they are checking it, but quality assurance responsibility go much further than that. We when the quality assurance mechanism should be strong, that it should include all the stakeholder. And the best part of the quality assurance mechanism would be that if we start taking regular at a regular interval the feedback of the stakeholders. Okay, because what is happening, we are with the skill based education notion, or with the vision, I would say, the way we are progressing, it is learning by doing kind of things are taking place. When we say the quality assurance, we don't have some set formulas or set notions with us, but one thing is clear, that theoretically we are clear about what the skill development is and what should it lead to. So quality assurance mechanism should be strong enough, and it should be backed by the appropriate ICT mechanism, like uh, LMS. If some institution can afford, then learning management system could be a right choice for that. Flexible assessment approach. Students should not push for doing assignment regularly. They should have an opportunity to work on certain projects. They could have an opportunity, if some student, like what we are doing in our in campus, that if some student come to us and they say that, sir, they got a job or they got an offer in the freelancing as a freelancer, but he need to spend at least sometimes, for example, 20 hours on that product project. Like my multimedia student came to me and told me that he got some opportunity to work as a freelancer, for which the company will pay them, but he will have to do some work for the company, which is asking for at least 20 hour of work. I said that, okay, show me the mails, show me the transactions, show me the work. If your mentor can endorse the same, then I can give you academic benefit. So we transfer that benefit to the student, and we gave them some kind of advantage in continuous based assessment which the class has been taking. So we replace them, and we help the students accordingly. Although these kind of issues create lot of paperwork and a lot of follow up, because many students come up with the many kind of issues, but that is the responsibility of the institution to give them the room. If they got some opportunity, we must as an institution accommodate them, because ultimately at the end of the day, student is learning something, which actually our intention is also to make him learn things. If they are collaborating with the industry, that is a good choice. Secondly, public private partnership. As I already mentioned, that not only the industry, but in the liberal sciences, the collaborations with the NGOs, the collaboration with the village authorities, the collaborations with the city level authorities, where we can we can send our student or make them participate in the public policies related affairs or the projects, and make them understand that how at the grassroots level the public policy is actually working. Okay, so the advantage with my engineering student is getting from the industry, the same we are extending to the liberal arts students too. And then community of engagement and awareness, this is more or like same. So how we can improvise our existing curriculum? So I have some experiences, not advice. I have some experiences with me, and this is what I am sharing with you. One is the service learning projects. In the service learning project, what we are doing, it is kind of community development program, where we ask the student to get attached with any organizations who are working on community development. The students go there, mentee keep a track on him, They got a new mentor there also from the designated institution. They gave them some task. The student undertake, or the group of the student undertake some projects, and later they present the same in the uh, in the in the in the institution. So that is a very important part, because I found that the students become more independent, they become extrovert when they return for after undertaking some kind of projects. So the leadership kind of capacity they are in, it is observed that they have now much better enhanced leadership capability. But the most important thing which I observed in my students who return from community development projects, they become more like confident students, and this is what the industry is asking for. Then we are promoting the freelancing. As I mentioned, multimedia's student example, the same is true for many courses, like especially in engineering. There are websites which are asking for the students contributions, and they also pay them uh, handsome money about that. When the student collaborate with us and telling us that this is the opportunity they are getting, so we compensate them by virtue of giving them academic benefit. There are many websites. Fiverr is one of the websites where some of our students are actively being engaged. They are giving tuitions, they are giving many they are exploiting many opportunity, they are earning, and they are getting benefit of the academic benefit back at home also. Student centric revenue generation model, because why I am citing these example, because these example, if we include in our curriculum, we initially will have not to take a major departure from the existing curricula. Because I know that it is very easy to say that we should change the curricula, but mind you, changing the curricula, especially the college level, when the decisions are not independently or unilaterally can be taken, that is different. So that is why I included these example, that we should eye on this. Then project based assignment. Every assignment must have kind of experiential learning. Every assignment must have it should be treated as a one project. Suppose in one subject there are three assignments, then we can club all these three assignment and make a projects, and divide these project as per the Gantt chart or as per the divisions, and divide them into the three different assignments. Now, what are the benefit the student will get? They are doing the same assignment throughout the semester for a particular course, and they continuously get the support of the mentor, and they got evaluated at almost every stage of the project, and their learning would be more enhanced. Okay. Then we have a case study analysis. That is the routine part, but uh, the case study analysis gave us more informations about the situation than the textbook can. For example, uh, when I used to teach the macroeconomic, in the case of inflation and how inflation is a curse, when I have to teach them, if I go by the books only, they give me some kind of data points or bulleted point that this kind of things will happen. So instead of that, I prefer to give them some case. I do have some cases with me from Harvard Business School review, which the university has a subscription of. And there is a case of Argentina. Argentina saw a big spikes of inflations almost a decade ago. And with that inflation, what happened that within a span of 5 years, Argentina saw three different governments. So how inflation is not only restricted to economic phenomena, but it is so when it went out of hand, it gave some kind of political mandate also. It translate into a political mandate, and under that circumstances, students get more sensitized about the inflation. rather than reading the topic of inflation from the textbook and suggesting the economic interpretation only. So case studies gave you multi-dimension idea which are going sometime beyond the books or beyond the subjects and enhance their knowledge and understanding. Because if I would say that the skill based education, one of the key component is whether student can analyze the things or not, whether they have a skill to analyze the situations or not. Then we have a practical simulation courses, especially in the business courses, where where some kind of simulations are given to the student. A simulation business workshop where uh, almost 40 students at a one go can participate. They can become a manufacturer. They produce the things, and at the end of the day, students are being evaluated according to their profitability, according to the decision which they have taken, because they are answerable to everything. So they got a real feeling of how the industry works, how to launch a product, when to launch a product, how to set up the pricing, what should be the sales strategy, what should be the marketing strategy. So they got a simulated experience out of this, and that makes them understand that, you know, different subjects simultaneously. Suppose if I'm teaching a rudiment conventional way of teaching, then MBA student will get exposure of a marketing in a different course, and exposure of finance in a different course, and exposure of management strategy in a different course. But on the simulated platform, they are working on the calculate, they are doing a calculations, accounting calculation on the paper. They are simultaneously working on the marketing, and they are also working on how to deal with the competitor in a one go. Then laboratory assignments, instead of keeping them in the laboratory, you can send them outside. They can do some kind of experiments. Internship and the work experience should be promoted. More and more students should go abroad or other countries, or not other countries, I would say that industry, and they should learn more things from them, and their learning should be appreciated. The, the institution must have a precise rubric to be devised in such a manner that they can extract the things which they want to be get extracted from the student, keeping the course outcome in mind. Then portfolios. Every student must have a portfolio. Although this is a very high statement, but I think that student must have some kind of visualized CV, that after completing my graduations or my post graduation, what kind of CV I want to carry with me. Because these are the days when you can't say that I don't have exposure for that. After the joining the job, I will gain this experience. Student must know that this is what I am getting from my existing curricula, and this is the need of the industry. What additionally I need? Should I go for MOOC programs? Should I go for some advanced courses? Should I do more internship? Which company I have to join? What are the new skills that the industry is asking for? So parallelly, institutions should help them to arrange these kind of facility to the student to make his CV alive. So every student which, when they leave the institution, they should not only get the degree certificates, but they should have a curriculum or CV with them that they dreamed 3 year or 2 year ago when they were joining the institutions. For that reason, institution must sensitize them, because this is a very good practices. In our university, we are using a program orientation one credit course in our curricula, where very first year, in the very first term, every new students are exposed to these kind of experiences. They are being taught in such a manner, they are motivated, they are being asked to choose their leader, and accordingly they are asked to write down what kind of opportunities they want to exploit, and for that opportunities, what kind of skills they want to inculcate in themselves. So although the skill based education is not that easy, but institutions must have to upgrade themselves. Only by virtue of this we can bridge that gap. Thank you very much. Now I am open to questions. Yes, sir. Hello. Am I visible, Professor? Audible?
Yes, you are. You are.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just waiting for them to make an announcement. So, if any of you have any questions, you can either unmute yourself and ask, or you can type in the chat box. Sir, we have a question in the YouTube chat box.
Okay, please.
Yeah, I'll just read it out for you. It's the question is, how do you think skill will enhance the economic growth of our country? Maybe skilling the students will enhance the economic growth of.
There is no direct link or immediately they will contribute to the economic growth, but an advanced skilled based human resource is definitely an asset for a country. So if by today we will start imparting in our student or skill based education mechanisms we start bestowing on them, then eventually we are you know making our human resource more skilled. And skilled human resource is the biggest component of any countries as far as the growth is concerned. So by virtue of that, they will contribute to economic growth.
Okay, thank you. I think someone has raised hand. If you'd like to ask a question, please unmute yourself and ask the question. Uh, I think raised hand by mistake. Lit and Eden Regini has raised hand. Would you like to ask anything?
They can write the questions also.
Yeah, if you would like to write the question, you can write in the chat box. Yeah, sir, there's a question in the chat box. I don't know whether you can see that, or I will
Yes.
read it out for you. Do you think with the implementation of NEP 2020, yeah, it would help us to reduce our student migration abroad?
Kerala and Punjab are having the same kind of destiny. In Punjab, the migration is very pervasive as far as the middle Canada is concerned. In Kerala, the migration is taking place to the Middle East predominantly. So we are battling with the same problem. Skill-based education. Um, I may not give you the right answer because maybe I may be wrong also, because the push and pull factor for migrations are altogether different from uh, the education is concerned. And if definitely one of the major component of leaving the country is earning, job, employment, and definitely saving. And you can see that our students are mostly being consumed there. They got employment there. But if we start collaborating properly with the industry, and if industry start responding positively, I think we can arrest this problem to a certain extent. But again, migration is not only led by the educational institutions only, or not by the employment opportunities back in home also. But there are push and pull factors are different. But that is for sure that the migration trend would may become mellow down if we are imparting the skill based education, and industry appreciate also.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think there's another question. The question is, government initiatives in providing internship for developing skills could enhance the education system. Will that be possible?
Government initiative in providing internship for developing skill. Yes, government nowadays become very active, because I have seen, I am in the office of academic affair, and I saw that every now and then new notifications are coming up, and new ideas are turning up. So there are a lot of opportunities are there, and the government institutions are opening up for their internships. So I think that that will, you know, change the scenario. And the initiative by the governments are very pro, because I have seen in my entrepreneurship cell, some of the students, they didn't find much difficulty as far as raising the fund from the government banks also, because in the Bharat Koshal Skill India program, I have observed that in our skill development section, this is specially designed for the student who want to go for entrepreneurship. uh, they raise fund from them, and they are successfully doing their businesses there. But we should not look much from the government, because they are also with the limited resources there. But at our level, at the institution level, we must have to tap some local industries too, where we can ask them to absorb our students. Yes.
Yes, sir. There's one more question. There's a compliment for your excellent presentation, and the
Thank you.
question is, can you suggest some easy way to implement the NEP to the average students who come to higher education without any specific objectives?
Yes. You might have seen in my presentation also, I raised one question that accessibility is the issue, because the vision of the NEP may not be that pervasive as it is expected, because the variation in the education delivery and variation in the understanding about the education is concerned. If somebody is studying in metropolitan, their orientation is altogether different from some is in the deep village, they are imparting the educations. So that would be a major challenge. I think that to mitigate that challenge, state government must have to take some initiative to bridge that gap. But again, more or less, education is still, the state prerogative, and the state would have to spend money on them, and they are short of funding. So I think that this question will still haunt us for the next 2 decades also, because getting aligned with the new education policy, imparting skill to the person who is, very simple example, is coming from rural area, they don't have a much awareness about where the industry is growing, what are the new technologies are being there, and it takes time to get acclimatized with the whole ecosystem. And by that time they got acclimatized, the things just, passed. And under that circumstances, we need to get some alignment. And I think that they might come up with the idea, because what we are delivering at the school level, private school level, the same things are somewhere down the line is missing in the public sector. So I think that in the near future we don't have a practically solutions for that. But somewhere institutions must have to upgrade them. Initially, what we are doing here in LPU, that we try to give them some kind of pre-term classes, some kind of basic knowledge, but that is of a short period of time, that is not giving them sufficient. But anyhow, they got bit, clear about what they are facing, what they will face. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that's all with the questions. Maybe I'll ask a question which is not so related to
Okay.
your talk. It's just a just a out of my curiosity. When I
Yes.
visited your university, I happened to see that you have very large number of students from Kerala.
Yeah.
So, since you are in charge of academic affairs, uh, can you say what attracts students to a campus which is so far away from the state?
You know, as far as the private universities are concerned, there are many push factor or pull factor, you can say, generally. So economic cost is the one thing. Second is the placement, and third is the diversity, because university has absorbed the diversity in a many sense. In a many sense, so student don't feel away from the home, and they got there. They have a strong alumni basis, which they further. I found that they don't find any difficulty in living in Punjab, because the system is very diverse. Students from far off places are the part of this university, and moreover, I think the cost, the fee structure is a bit competitive, which attracts them also, and placement is one of the reasons for that.
Yeah, okay. So there's one more question. Do you think OBE can be effectively implemented in Indian universities?
OBE, yes, outcome based education. It's a very much talked about topic in the last 2 decades. The idea was Americanized later, then American rejected this. Outcome based education is asking for individual attention to the students. Each student should be dealt differently, because they have a different need, they have a different cognitive skill, they have a different understanding skills, and which make a teacher a kind of saint who know everything, which is again next to impossible, and asking for a lot of documentations. Okay. Now, what is happening that outcome based education we are eyeing on, but parallelly, the you know hard work on the part of the teacher will increase. They will have to go to a lot of documentations to make their evaluation possible individually at the student level. So outcome based education is bit a far fetched idea, but it is achievable with the help of digital technology. If institution have a digital technology with them, then they can measure the different contours in a no time, because ultimately, if you go by the American case study of rejecting the outcome based idea, their main concerns, their teachers unions main concern was that they have to do a lot of paperwork. Okay. But in India now, we are there are a lot of software in the form of LMS are available, and even the CBSE board is also using them. So if we go with the digital technology, then outcome based education can be achievable. But for that reason, my teacher should be, their knowledge should be, capacity should be increased, capacity building should be area where we should invest a lot. Rather, instead of teaching my student first, my teacher should be taught first. They should made industry 4.0 ready. So I think that if parallelly we can do some kind of effort on these lines, then OBE idea could be achievable.
Okay, I think we will take one last question. It's from Anida Selvaraj. He's again complimenting you for your expertise and
Thank you. I will
care.
share my PPT with you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So the question is, in fact, I think there are two questions. How can NEP 2020 address the digital divide? And maybe next question is connected, and ensure equitable access to skill-based education across rural and urban settings. So
Yes. I
digital,
think I have already catered this problem. But again, as the question was asked, I am answering. The problem in the COVID time, we saw that the student whose accessibility to the digital devices was less or negligible, was not at all. Those students are not performing well. They are finding it difficult to get absorbed, because those who were in the plus two, now they are graduate, their cognitive skills are being hampered largely. So the intervention of the digital technology now become an important ingredient in education, and that digital divide should be, bridged with the a more pervasive policy, public policy. A discussion should be happen on this area. Secondly, rural urban divide is there. I told you that we need at least a decade or two to get close to that. But again, despite all these divides, we do have a large chunk of unemployment. Those people who are claiming that they are skillful, they are battling with this. I think that if we start working on that, what we have instead of what we don't have, then maybe the situations may improve further. Yes.
Yeah, okay. I think we'll wind up. Yeah. Mm. We can proceed with the word of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Femi Mooney, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, to give vote of thanks.
Am I audible?
Yes, Femi.
Okay, fine. Respected Principal Dr. Chako Jospi and today's resource person Dr. Vishal Sarin and dear participants, good evening to all. Today, my duty is to express my gratitude on behalf of St. Aloysius College. First and foremost, I would like to thank Dr. Chako Jospi, our dear Principal, St. Aloysius College, Elturut, for arranging such a wonderful session on bridging the gap, skill-based education for a thriving economy in the backdrop of NEP 2020. Thank you so much, sir. Then I would like to thank Dr. Vishal Sarin for his valuable, insightful, as well as an interactive session. Dr. Vishal explicitly said that the present status of skill based education, future of skill based education in the Indian context, importance of industry collaborations, the role of government for the successful implementation of skill based education, and also the issues and challenges facing in the implementation stages and the strategies for implementing the skill based education. And also he said that how we can improvise the existing curriculum towards skill based education. Thank you so much, sir, from the bottom of our hearts for the insightful session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for my side. Thanks for it.
Next, I would like to express my sincere gratitude towards Dr. Sinto Jacob, coordinator of St. Chavara Center for Teaching Excellence and Educational Innovation, and Dr. Libison KB, IQAC coordinator, for arranging such a valuable series of FDPs on vibrant topics. Thank you so much. Last but not least, I would like to thank all my colleagues, non-teaching staffs, and participants from other institutions for their active participation and questions. And also thank all the hands behind the success journey of FDPs conducted by St. Chavara Center and their tireless efforts. Once again, thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I kindly request the participant to switch on your camera for 1 minute to take a photo. Participants, please note that the feedback link will be given in the chat box. Please fill the form before you leave this session. Thank you, everyone. On behalf of St. Chavra Center for Teaching Excellence and Education Innovation, I extend our deepest gratitude to Dr. Vishal Sharan for gracing us with his presence and sharing his knowledge. And I would like to thank you, all the participants, for this involvement and attention throughout the session. Thank you all.
So thank you, Professor Vishal Serin,
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
and I'll suggest all those who have participated in this event, when you get a chance, do visit a lovely professional university. It is lovely indeed, with a lot of facilities,
Thank
which
you. Thank
are
you.
truly international. I was amazed and surprised by the facilities.
No, sir. Next time when you visit, be our guest, rather be my guest. I will appreciate your presence at my campus.
Yeah,
And if
sure.
I will receive any opportunity to visit Kerala,
Yeah, sure.
I will be you will be the first person whom I will call.
Oh, sure. Looking forward.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for this
Okay.
hospitality. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.